Hello everybody, welcome back to my war, Indecent Invasions. I apologize for the wait. My good buddy Mitch was visiting from South Korea, so I was obviously hanging out in real life a lot, not so much in Lothric, but I'm back. I'm back now. I was able to play a little bit while he was here, because I'm a night shift person and I never sleep apparently. But basically what I did was run my characters through New Game Pluses. I don't know why. I don't know why I took Poise Wizard through New Game Plus. I'm sure there was something I was setting out to do, and I have no idea what the fuck it was. Anyway, we've been invaded. So, I'm sure you saw the invader there. He tried to get the drop on me. Didn't realize that I'd already made him. The cover was blown. The jig was up. And he doesn't look like he wants to really do any melee fighting. So he runs to the Lothric Knight and the Cleric and all that stuff to heal, and that's a great move. That's a fantastic move, and that's exactly how you should use enemies. However, if I was so inclined, I could just go ahead and walk through the fog door, fight the boss, and be done with him. At this point, this late in the level, it's not on me to chase him. It's on him to bring the heat to me. He's got to make me want to fight him. He's got to dangle some sort of Dark Souls 3 carrot equivalent on some sort of invasion stick. I don't know, but he has to make me want to fight him. And why in the fuck would I go back there and fight you with the Lothric Knight and stuff? The Cleric and all that. You saw him kind of peek his head around the corner, and this is a terrible use of enemies in an area. So, see the Tree Giants. Why would I walk into that? Why would I walk into that? I'm not going to. Alright, listen, all you have to do as an invader to win is go into an invasion thinking the host has an understanding of the game. He knows not to chase you into the big pile of enemies. Oh, but not you, brave invader. You cast one spell and I didn't fall over dead. Then you ran into the enemies and I didn't chase you. How from could fix invasions in Dark Souls 3? Please upvote. But you know if that Crystal Soul Spear had fucking killed me, I would be on a montage video right now. Now, to sort of illustrate that point, Black Hand Eddard is hanging out in the Grand Archives. And right off the bat, we've got a Smo Phantom, so we know there's at least one Phantom in the world. I have no intention of sticking around there, because they've already killed the Crystal Sage. Also, I was wearing the Sun Princess ring from an invasion previous, and I'd forgotten to take it off. This was recorded maybe like a week ago, this actual invasion. So there were still plenty of invasions going on. It's kind of slowed down now with the Dark Souls 2 Return to Dring Lake event that's going on currently. Invasions are a little slower. Actually, I've been meaning to pop in Dark Souls 2, but I just still haven't done it yet. And I probably won't be making a new character. I'll just run around with one of my old characters. And my favorite weapon in Dark Souls 2 is the Drake Keeper Sword, and it's fucking impossible to get that stupid thing. And it's not until the end of the game that you can actually get it. So, just Jesus. Anyway, what we've done is we've run around the area to see what shortcuts have been unlocked. This elevator's been unlocked. The wall has been retracted. So, I'm fairly certain they're not up here, but I'm going to go check anyway. I want to see if everything's been killed. Look around. Nothing's dead. So they haven't been up here yet. And then on top of that, I don't believe the ladder was down. So, I know we didn't get a clear look at it right there, but I'm sure I would have inspected the ladder if it had been down. But we get a Blue Sentinel or Dark Moon, whatever the hell he was. He decides to show up. He's tired of grinding Silver Knights. So we'll set a little trap right here. And it looks like it's just Phantom Smo. There we see the host kind of pop out. He's the Havel guy, who's not wearing full Havels, I don't think. I think he's wearing a different helmet. Yeah. But again, we're not going to sit here and fight those two guys on a staircase. Not the smartest thing in the world. I get my buff ready, but then these guys are kind of hesitant to come up. So, since they want to camp, we'll use the Millwood Greatbow. In another video, I called this, it's like a landlord, because it'll force you to move. As you can see, they've activated a seed, and as you can see, that has not changed my plan at all. I am within aggro range of plenty of enemies here, but they have to notice me first, and that's going to take a minute. And just because they've noticed me now, and they're hitting me, does not mean I'm going to freak the fuck out. If the host is going to come running up here, acting all crazy, that was a confusing little turn of events right there. Series of events, I should have said. if the host is going to come run up here and think, oh, I've got a seed, now I'm invincible, that's not the case. If he draws aggro first, then he keeps the aggro, as you can see. The other two down there, they're not worried about me, and the only one I'm having to contend with is the one up on the balcony there. And that one hits pretty hard, but I'm trying to find a place that maybe it's a little less likely to attack me. And I found that right on the edge of the stairs and the bookshelf. And that one kind of laid off of me. I lost, I think, 1 Estus to that, maybe 2. We'll say 2 Estus. I lost 2 Estus to that encounter. But it didn't go nearly as bad for me as I think the host would have wanted it. I chuck an alluring skull here to see if the scholars will take it, and it doesn't look like they're interested in alluring skulls at all, so that's not something to I wouldn't emulate that. It doesn't look like scholars are really interested in alluring skulls, which makes sense. I guess they're supposed to be smart, right? I didn't engage them right there because, again, there was no reason to. They think that the seed has basically turned this around for them. They think that they're in control now, and they absolutely are not. They've actually given me more control over the level than I think anyone anticipates. When you use a Seed of the Tree Giant, this game basically becomes Mario Maker RPG. Like, I just get to pick where your monsters are going to be. That's all you've done for me, because I'm not going to focus on you, because I know you don't want to fight me. If you'd wanted to fight me, you wouldn't have used the seed. I'm going to be a dickhead and chase your crystal lizards away. I've got all the gargoyles hype and ready to fight. And then I'm going to run right here to this little choke point where the gargoyle can't get me. And I'm going to wait and see what you do. Your move, host and phantom. In the last video I talked about how when they use a seed, when a host uses a seed, it kind of turns an invasion into PvPvE, and that's almost like a chess match. You know what I mean? It's almost like the invasion becomes a very cerebral sort of affair. It's a very, it's mental gymnastics as opposed to just fighting and the very visceral nature of Dark Souls 3 invasions and combat. It's more of a thought out. And every once in a while, this is fun. I like doing these every once in a while. There I see the host or something taking damage over that way. So it becomes not apparent, but it becomes a possibility that they're going to fight that gargoyle or just run past it and drop down to the Lothric Knight with the Ultra Great Sword. So that becomes something I have to be aware of. And I see the gargoyle. He's not breaking aggro from me, which is to be expected because I'm right here. But if they were wandering up behind him, I feel like he would have at least turned and acknowledged them. And it's been long enough that I think it's safe to assume they've dropped down the other side with the Lothric Knight. So, again, I'm completely safe. Nothing here can hurt me. The seed has done nothing except allow me to change the layout of your world. You've granted me complete control over the enemies. That's what a seed does. I know most people are, but most people want to use enemies poorly, like we saw in the example of the first video, or the first clip, where I was invaded. That's a poor use of the enemies. Now, I did not use the enemies as wisely as I should have at the very beginning of this. I should have lingered on the edge of those scholars. I shouldn't have ran right into the midst of them. Should have lingered on the edge a little bit. I went in a little too deep, and as a result, they tried to punish me with a seed. Fairly. That was a fair move. Because I made the mistake of getting in too deep. Alluring skulls work on NPCs. We've gone over that. And this is a terrible... Like, you fight these 3 guys, and typically, people who have played the game a lot, they know how to aggro Albert, and then you aggro Kamui, and then you aggro Kriemhild. There's a way you can do it where you're not fighting all 3 at once. I'm bringing all 3 into this tiny ass little space, and I'm going to make you fight all 3 of them in that little room. That's my plan. So I'm out of alluring skulls, but it's fine. Now you can use alluring skulls at this little junction up here, and you can make this little run a lot easier. And I realize here that not having any alluring skulls is going to be kind of a pain in the ass. So instead of going all the way up and getting all of these things involved, what I'm more interested in doing is just breaking some of the barriers down and getting all of the first area enemies aggro and getting them walking around and getting them procced so that they're actually moving. I saw some health over there, which means they're making their way around here somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but I saw damage, so I know they're not down below. Albert decides he wants to chase me, which is fine. What we'll do is we'll bring Albert up here to the Winged Knights. And so now, if the host and his phantom can make it up here to the Winged Knights, they're going to have an Albert on top of to deal with. And think, this is New Game Plus whatever. Most people have played this game enough. They know where everything's laid out. So one thing being off like that is enough to fuck some people up. Thank you, Winged Knight. You're a swell guy. Now, I haven't seen any damage pop up in a minute, so I'm kind of at a loss from where they are, but Lady Luck's got my back. You know how they tell you, like, when you're a kid, they're like, if you ever get lost at the mall, just, pick a place and stand still, and your parents are more likely to find you. I do not subscribe to that theory. So, here we see them. We got to make this count, like I said. So we're going to Astora's for the extra damage on the plunge attack. Pick the host. Invasion over. Congratulations. Fuck you. Fuck your seed. You've basically turned me into Dickhead Invader. Like, if you're willing to fight me, like 3-on-1 or whatever, that's cool. We'll do the normal stuff. Get hits in when we can, run around, chase you, set traps, hide behind pillars. When you use a seed, you actively stop me from being able to play the way that I want to play. And so I play the way that the game will respond to best. And that is being a dickhead invader. This is Dick Wraith at its finest for me. Not panicking, understanding enemy choke points where enemies can't get to, moving enemies around. Like I said, basically turning this into RPG Maker, where you get to decide where the enemies are going to be. It's not hard. It's really not hard. You've played this game a million times. I know you fucking have. If you're invading, I know you like this game enough that you've played it a million times. Just take the enemies different places. It's fun. Who knows what the fuck they'll run into. Make your attacks count, and if you have one really good attack, and you make that one really good attack count, that's usually all you need. And that's the end of the invasion. GG. And to finish it off, I decided to grab old Ultra Heavy and drag him over to the archives as well. And this invasion started off, the reason I was invading with this character was I wanted to make a video, a little showcase of how consumable items help during invasions, and none of my characters benefit more from the use of consumable items than Ultra Heavy. I don't think we really get into that too much in this video. This all started because of a conversation over on the Sticky Bandits channel between Schwa, Sticky, myself, and Nif. And we were talking about, we were basically just fucking picking at Sticky because Schwa said he didn't use consumable items enough to help him. And my Ultra Heavy guy uses the same Ultra Great Sword that Sticky uses a lot, the Lothric Knight Great Sword, and it benefits well from the use of consumable items, especially Pine Bundles and Lightning Resin. Also, the Green Blossoms help, that kind of stuff. So, originally I was going to make a video based around that. See, the wall has not been retracted. The elevator's down, but the wall's not been retracted, which is kind of odd. But what ended up happening, this became a fun invasion for a different reason. I love invading in the archives. They're a great long stretch. It's a big area. We see some health over here, so we know that the party's around this location. We saw the host to our left, and there was a gold phantom straight in front of us. I spotted him. I don't know if you guys spotted him, but he was like straight ahead of us. So he's separated himself pretty far from the host. There he is. You saw him by the stairs. I think he's toggling around in his menu looking for stuff, and when we finally get a hold of him, he's fat rolling. So notice how I roll catch with an Ultra Great. That was basically roll catching with an ultra great on slow motion because he was fat rolling. Um, with a straight sword, you could have punished that first roll, but with an ultra great, I punished the second roll. That's how you roll catch with an ultra great weapon. If anybody was curious, punish the second roll, not the first. And you won't always get it, but it's easier if you punish the second roll. So there's two, the host and his gold coiled bonfire Havel great shield guy. And Havel there was trying to get him to go into the Outrider Knight illusory wall. And they weren't really giving me any attention, which kind of threw me through a loop at first because I was like, well, what the fuck? I'm the most pressing issue here, right? Uh, that's a poor move from a party's perspective. Deal with the invader before you go opening illusory walls and fighting really tough enemies. If that hadn't thrown me so much, if I hadn't been caught off guard by that, I could have really seriously taken advantage of that Outrider Knight. But as a result of my bewilderment, uh, I played poorly. I didn't really play poorly, I just didn't do what I should have done. So I'm over here checking firebombs, like, hey, I exist, acknowledge me. They went to go get Soulstream. We get a look at the host here. Also, coiled bonfire sword and shield of want, which we can break the guard on that. And if he tries to block here, we would have done so. But that was a test to see how he would play. But he rolls, so he's not completely helpless. The Gold Phantom has busted out the Evelyn, so we'll bust out ours. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but now we've got it. And he goes to fire, which is silly because we're just going to poise through that and hit him. We'll make that trade every day. And he's still not healed, which gives us an idea of maybe he's low on Estus. We did get the host there, and this guy just doesn't have the stamina to block a hit. I don't know if he didn't have the stamina or if he doesn't meet the requirements for that shield or what, but that did not work out well for him. And then another shield break. Just guard breaks all over the damn place. I go ahead and heal there, which, you know, I know he's gonna... It's hard to catch somebody on a wake up with an ultra great weapon. So it was a better use of my time to heal. And I switched over to the Evelyn because I knew this was, well, I didn't know, but I assumed that this would turn into a chase sequence. He wants to go get some more phantoms. I recognized that. So, recognizing what he wants to do, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Silver Cat Ring, and I'm going to race him down to the bottom. And this is why I love 3-Band Archives. Just like that, I'm back in your face. There is no escaping me. And the Silver Cat Ring, I know I have harped about, in the Stream of Consciousness Invasions, I have harped forever about how fucking awesome the Silver Cat Ring is and how awesome the Obscuring Ring is. And that is why. His plan has just been shot to shit. It's going to take me 0 minutes to kill him. He's over here summoning phantoms. I am not worried in the slightest. Caught him on the second roll, punished it, recognized he wanted to heal, Evelyn to the face. The end. Short and sweet little invasion, but it really, really showcased how awesome the Silver Cat Ring is. Not just for escapes and running away like I use it when I'm invading after Pontiff and all those ganky stuffs, but again, 2 rolls, punish. 2 rolls, punish. Know how to roll catch with your weapon. Take advantage when you can. A lot of times you'll get a guard break or a parry, and sometimes you're afraid to take the riposte. Never be afraid to take it. Just take it. Just take the motherfucker. Every time. Always take it. Always be taking the riposte. Under any circumstances. And then the Silver Cat Ring. Oh, thank you, based Silver Cat Ring. Understanding the level, knowing the level layout, understanding what my opponent wanted to do. It was all just a great big equation, and the answer was Silver Cat Ring. Always have that thing on you. Always be willing to swap to it. Not just for retreating. Just, you can use it for all kinds of stuff. I love it. Love the Silver Cat Ring. Can't harp about it enough. Know how to roll catch with your weapon. Recognize when somebody wants to get away from you to heal. And if you're using an ultra great weapon, it is always beneficial to have something quick that you can just finish the fucker off with. In this case, the Evelyn. Recognizing You're rolling away from me because you want to heal, and you don't have enough to survive 3 shots. But that'll do it for us today. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. I'll see you guys next time. Later, y'all.